Now I want to mention one more thing before we go into our next video lesson. So we have this shot, boom, and then we have these birds that are moving to the up right part of the frame. So that it's like there's a line, a curve being drawn like this. If you watch this image, there's a curve. Woof, woof.
Allow your tummy.
And in the following image, see this curve? Your eyes are going to be along this line. I guarantee you're not looking over here on the top left. I guarantee you're not really looking over here in the top middle. Your eye is going to be drawn to do this.
Close your eyes.
In the next image, we have a curvy line made by our subject's body. This is another great example of a match cut. So these shots really blend together with the film burn, with the match cut. The motion of the subject is also going to the top right. So we're going to the right, to the right, to the right, basically. And then woof. And the other thing that we're doing here, like what we mentioned before, is she's doing a movement but doesn't complete the movement, which leads into woof, the movement of the next shot, which leads into the movement of the next shot. If you want to make it clunky, you can scoot things over, scoot things over, scoot things over, let it play.
Allow your tummy to relax and your breath to flow naturally.
So that was not terrible, but it just didn't have a very good flow. This movement looked okay, but didn't lead into the next movement. And that movement didn't really lead into this movement. So let's undo that and check it out again.
Allow your tummy to relax and your breath to flow naturally. What's showing up for you today? Notice your thoughts.
Perfect. So you don't always have to do that. It doesn't mean that your edit needs every single shot flowing into the next shot, but it's cool to do it in moments where there's a sudden smoothness. And then, like, for example, this shot is kind of abruptly not matching these other bright flowy shots.
What's showing up for you?
But it works because in this part of the video, her vocals are asking a specific question that's very separate from what we just saw. So she's telling you to relax, flow, see what comes naturally. And then she's asking a very direct question: what's showing up for you today? And we see this much more bluish tone. She's not moving, she's more in a meditative posture. That's pretty deep right there, but I'm hoping that you can grab some. Yeah, wow, okay. Hopefully, you can grab some insights from the subtleties that you can really get into with this kind of edit. And I will see you in the next video lesson. Now we are at a part in the edit where We're about a minute in, so we've been working on everything up to a minute now, and yeah, we're at a part in the song actually where the energy gets picked way up. There was like the mysterious intro, and then the beat kind of came in, and we started to pick up the pacing. We did a few things with film burns, and now we're at a song which I actually marked here, yellow. So here's the track. This yellow part you're gonna hear, so I want you to listen and hear the audible change. So actually, let's listen to it before we actually see what happens. So pay attention to what happens here.
As you sift and sort through them like clouds passing in your sky, see the sun setting and twinkle lights appearing. Father's sky full of lights. Dear Mer,
Okay, so it just dropped into a completely different, different kind of dreamy mysticalness that wasn't this kind of low thing. This is how I feel things as an editor. Like when I like hear a sound, it either goes up or it goes down, or it's spiky or it's soft and it's round. That right, damn. So yes, you want to be sensitive to these kind of vibe changes. And let's see what we chose to add as our visual to further tell the story of the change that happens right here in this part of the video.
as you sift and sort through them like clouds passing in your sky, see the sun setting and twinkle lights appearing. Father's sky full of lights. Dear mermaid, where is your North Star?
Okay, so there's like some symbology stuff going on here. We have these exciting sparkler shots, and if you look at these, and I don't know why it's having this weird glitch. That's not in the final edit. That weird graininess is not supposed to be there. So Premiere's doing something weird. But anyways, this, this looks like what this sound in the audio sounds like.
And twinkle lights appearing.
Plus, she is saying "and twinkle lights" here, and these are twinkle lights. So yeah, there's a metaphor thing going on, and then there's a literal thing going on. But this is a subtle vibe change that we're paying attention to at this level of being a video editor to create that special moment. So we have boom, this electric excitement in the track.
And twinkle lights appearing. Fathers.
And then a more introspective curiosity line that she delivers right here.
Father's sky full of lights. Dear mermaid, where is your North Star?
And then we have this crazy looking Dear Mermaid shot. So we're not showing this at Mermaid, Dear Mermaid. We're not showing this at Dear Mermaid. We're showing the freaking mermaid, like, amazing shot at that point, right? And then she's talking about where is your North Star? We have this very star-esque looking reflection of light coming in through the water as she's touching it. So that's the kind of metaphor thing that I was talking about. By doing this, you make people feel what the audio is wanting them to feel, right? So, and if we go here, we also have a little bit of subtle overlays. Now, these are different than film birds. These are much more of like filming something through a glass type of prism. There's no burned red, orange tones like a traditional overlay, but they have this really cool crystal type of appearance, and they are overlaid on top of these shots. So if I remove them,
it's appearing. And twinkle lights appearing. Father's sky.
you can see this whole sequence loses its energy.
And twinkle lights appearing. Father's sky full of lights.
So, like I mentioned, you don't put film burns and overlays just on every shot. You do it consciously to further make the specific shots look better, whether they need it for a transition into a different kind of sequence or the shots just feel a little bit dull. So, let's keep moving here and we'll get more into some overlays.
Where is your North Star? Do you see it? Take a deep breath in, breathing in all the juiciness, yumminess, and stickiness that life offers, and experience your cells revitalized. Now, purposefully intent.
Okay, I love this sequence here. This is such a fun, was such a fun sequence to shoot and was a really fun sequence to edit together. So we have a lot of different pacing changes here. We really follow the flow of her voice. So pay attention to the intonation and the energy and the kind of speed and rhythm of her vocals, and then watch the speed and rhythm of the visuals as well. So we have one long shot here, four quick shots, one shot, another shot, one medium shot, and then we go to even longer shots back here. So let's watch those two items. So pay attention to what's going on here.
Take a deep breath in, breathing in all the juiciness, yumminess, and stickiness that life offers, and experience your cells revitalized. Now, purposefully, intentionally breathe out.
Okay, perfect. So we are really riding the beat of her vocals. Now, what I mentioned about having a different type of overlay, I did something here to really spice up these shots. There is not as many sparks as you would imagine in the actual content, in the actual footage. So I have these. What we did is I had my cinematographer the day of the shoot film a bunch of footage with just the black sky in the background and sparks and embers coming up from the actual fire that we had on set, but without the talent, without the character, without anything like that. He just filmed just the sparks. Now, I used those raw video files that we have overlaid right here. This is the overlays of the sparks. This is the footage below. I use these as a basically almost like a film burn, but more of an overlay. So I use the same process of setting it to screen. And if we take these out, boom, you're gonna see the sparks disappear that weren't actually there. So we have all these sparks, take them away, it's just that. So if I let that play,
Offers.
so again, the computer's kind of lagging because these full res files are so dense, but I can't fully play this through. But we have it without the sparks, with the sparks, without, with. And as we go through, these sparks end up making a huge difference. See, we have all this coming through this part of the frame, these guys, these vertical ones. If I were to remove that, then we don't have, this whole area is kind of empty. And even in this sequence where I kind of overlaid, you can see these sparks starting to come in here. So if we go frame by frame, it looks kind of like something's odd. But what I did was blend in this layer of sparks onto the image a little bit before, just to spice things up a little bit. Because what she's saying and the vibe of that part of the track really needed something.
The yumminess and stickiness
Boom.
that life offers.
And there's also, as you can see, a slight time remapping right here. You can see we speed up the footage. It goes zoom just a little bit.
Stickiness that life
Boom.
offers. And experience your cells revitalized.
So yeah, all this stuff in the foreground, all these really cool blurred out sparks, yeah, those are all added later on in the edit. Now, there are a lot of other situations where you can do these kind of unique overlays. You can film your own film burns and your own overlays just like this. Anything that has a dark background that you can film with a light foreground of what you want to retain in that type of custom overlay that you're filming, just like this. I knew ahead of time I wanted this to look like a crazy bonfire scene. That was something I knew going into the filming process that would be awesome to use in the editing process. So hopefully that gives you some cool insights and tips for getting the gears turning on some unique stuff you can do with future edits. So we're going to continue to go through this edit and uncover some more secrets and techniques. Now, I wanted to mention that, we're doing a lot of lessons, video lessons here on like overlays and film burns and that kind of stuff, is because you'll find each edit is going to have a lot of its own specific look. In some of the projects we edited together previously, some of the edits were had a lot of glitchiness. Some of the edits had a lot of audio swoosh kind of sound design. Some of the edits had a lot of motion graphics and text. Some of the edits had a lot of other specific elements that are kind of repeated throughout the video. So you want to find what it is that that specific project needs to upgrade it to the higher level of production quality. And then you're going to hone in on that. And then you're going to kind of repeat it throughout the video, but in a way that doesn't feel boring. I don't overdo the sparks overlay. I do it just enough in the scenes that need it, where you almost don't notice it, but it looks really inspiring. We have the different kind of crystal overlay things and crystal overlays at the right moments. And then we have the more film burn style at the right moments as well. So keep that in mind. You're going to find a specific look for a specific project, hone in on that look, and then put it throughout the video. Now, let's go ahead and continue to go through and see what we can find.
Across the room, watching it hit the wall, across and all the way around the world, all the way back into your next deep breath in. See the world ripple with your contribution.
Okay, so there's a few things there. We had this subtle time remapping right here. Boom, boom, boom. So let me hit it play. Let me let it play. You can see the time remapping starts right there, ends right there.
Across the room, watching it hit.
Which just gives it a little extra something. If I were to take away this and let it cut into the other video or the other clip,
across the room, watching it hit.
It didn't work. There was just something wrong. I thought it would work initially because it's like there's these that almost look like embers out of focus. There's actually a lot of similarity in these two shots as far as the bokeh in these two angles, but it didn't work.
Watching it hit.
I don't know. There was something about it that wasn't working. So I added this little time remap that sped things up on this clip right before we cut.
Across the room, watching it hit.
And for some reason, that worked perfectly in this situation.
Watching it hit the wall, across and all the way around the world, all the way back.
Now we have a theme that's happening between these shots. We have her hand going into frame, going sideways actually. We have her hand going sideways and down. We have her hand going out. And then boom, we have this match cut of her hand at a different location. So let's watch that back.
Across the room, watching it hit the wall, across and all the way around the world, all the way back into your next deep breath in. See the world ripple with your contribution as your north.
Perfect. So a cool little unique 10-second sequence there. We used a similar movement between our shots with a similar repeating, in this case, body part, her hand, to create a pretty unique sequence. So we also have some film burn action going on. So this one was used right here.
See the world
to link these two together in a way that just felt better. If I were to take that away, let this play.
See the world ripple with your.
It's cool. It's fine. It just doesn't have that final payoff. There's a big exposure difference between these two images and a big color difference. But a similar movement with our character, but perfect situation to link these, boom, with our film burn.
With your contribution as your North Star, whether it's behind clouds or not, guides you. What is your purpose? What is your why? Open your eyes, see your North Star, and fly.
Okay, perfect. So we have this camera movement going up to the sky when she says and fly. I'm rhyming in this lesson. I love it. Okay. And then we go to a fade, actually a cross dissolve of this shot. Now, of course, for this project, our trusty film burn is really helping out with getting these two shots linked together. If we were to scroll through it without, it's cool.
And fly. And fly.
You know, that's fine. It's cool. But this is one of those projects where film burns are really the money on this one. So get comfortable with using film burns because it's going to come in handy. They're really easy to add, they're really easy to use, and the professional look you can get by dropping the perfect one in at the perfect moment of the video is the game changer. Trust me.